Hello world, my name is Tim Roswick, and I'm the creator of a game called Phallophobia, which launches tomorrow at midnight. That seems weird to say because it's been such a long project in my life, and even though I've made 22 games in the last 2 years, this one is the important one to me. And not only is it the biggest, I don't even care that it's the biggest, I just care that it's like the most important, the emotional resonant game that I've ever made, project that I've ever made, really. And I wanted to make a video about how I'm feeling. I'm 2 days from launch, and a lot can go crazy. And I know a lot of indie developers, this channel is filled with them. You know, we dream about this day. We do. We're excited. We can't wait to get there. And it's so hard to get to. It takes so long to get to launch day. There's so much to do. There's so many hurdles to overcome. There's so many emotional, mental barriers. There's so many creative barriers. There's so many technical barriers. It's insane. But I also know the people that get here are few and far between. I don't know many of them. I've reached out to the ones that I do. People that have published a game, put a game up for sale, launched a game, makes up a small percentage of actual game developers. 90-some% of people never finish their projects, ever. And so getting to this point, you're kind of at the top of the ladder. Then you got a different ladder to climb, right? You got to figure out how to make people buy the game, which is a whole nother deal. And so if you are one of those people that is looking at launching a game soon or would like to launch a game, I want to walk through how I'm feeling and some of the things that I've kind of overcome and worked through throughout this journey, right? Because there's a lot of stuff. So first of all, I just want to say I've been streaming 6 days a week on Twitch, which my Twitch channel is down in the description. If you want to come watch me for the final day of development, you can. But the question that comes up all the time on Twitch is, Tim, how are you feeling? How do you feel this close to launch? What do you feel? And this is one of those things where the self-reflection that we've done on this channel really, really helps, because I don't feel stressed. My brain does not feel like I'm panicking. I feel 100% confident. I feel cool, calm, collected. I feel ready to hit publish button. There's a piece of my mind in the back that is worried that people are not going to like the game. That, I think, is my biggest mental barrier at this point. I'm very concerned that people are not going to like it. And even though hundreds of people, literally hundreds, have told me they love it, it's awesome, I have people that play for hours and hours and hours and hours and play over and again, there's still a little piece of my mind that's like, Tim, these guys watch your videos. Of course they would like it. You know, there's still that little piece. And maybe it's a self-worth thing, maybe it's a self-confidence thing, I don't know. But that's my biggest fear at this point. I also want to point out that had I not spent years looking at myself and figuring out how to improve myself and all that, I wouldn't know that I'm very anxious right now. What I mean by anxious is there's a lot of little things. Even though I don't mentally feel stressed, all of the muscles in my whole body are super tense. My back right now is super, super, super tense. I have a little like pain point in my back that's been like hurting the past couple of days, just because all of the muscles feel like they're contracting super, super tight. And I've tried to like mentally relax all of them. I've tried like massage things and it doesn't seem to work. I just think it's tense from, you know, launching the biggest project of my life, which is no big, you know, that could do that to you. The other symptom is not being able to sleep. Like I said, even though I don't feel mentally stressed, I stared at my ceiling for 3 hours last night, just sitting there tired, ready to go to sleep, unable to sleep. That's a common thing too. And if you're going through that, it could be anxiety. And a lot of people don't talk about the physical symptoms of anxiety. And so knowing those two things, I know that I do feel anxious. And I think the third one is like this weight on my chest. Sometimes when I think about certain things, I feel like a pile of rocks just got put on my chest. It's a physical feeling, I feel like. I think that goes with the muscle tightness a little bit too. So knowing that all of this is probably anxiety with just the launch, I feel okay. It makes me feel fine. Like I know it's part of life. I think it's a part of doing anything that you're uncomfortable with. Anytime you're uncomfortable, you're gonna get a little bit of anxiety. You're gonna get a little bit of those. Maybe not all of the physical symptoms, maybe some of them, maybe some different ones. Everybody's different. But for me, that's kind of what happens. I don't feel emotionally stressed. I just physically feel it, if that makes sense. So there's that. And then on top of that, like I said, the biggest thing stopping me right now, it's not stopping me, I'm not letting it stop me, but the biggest fear is that people hate the game. That's it. I really don't care if I hit my financial goals. Would I love to? Sure. And honestly, I said I wanted to make $10,000 in the first year. With the Founders Edition stuff, we're almost halfway there anyway. So I feel confident we're gonna hit the financial goals for the game. I'm not worried about those though. It's weird. It's weird. I honestly, 100% truly do not care about hitting the financial goals for the game. This game specifically, I want people to think is good. I want them to love it, ironically, because it's a game where love is literal hell. But I want them to love it, because I've never poured my heart and soul into an art project before. And I don't really see this as a game. I see this as a piece of interactive art. And you can't expect people to ever see your project the way that you see it. And I know that. As a matter of fact, I have videos about that, right? Especially from a business perspective. I'm selling the product as it is. I'm not selling my brain's understanding of this wonderful world of art in my brain. That's not feasible to sell that. But I hope people like the game. That's like my biggest fear. And I think what kind of compounded that fear is, I didn't really think about it launching the Founders Edition, but now people paid, you know, higher prices for this game. And now I feel more pressure to deliver something awesome. And I think subconsciously that may have also been a part of my decision to launch on itch rather than Steam. Just being scared. I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but that's kind of how I've been looking at it lately. You know, it's a lot of pressure. It's terrifying, I think, in a way. I haven't let myself think about it too much because I've just been working on the game over and over, and that kind of occupies my time. But I'm a little concerned, to be honest, about myself post-launch, because I know that when I sold my company, my marketing company, I was super excited right before. I was like, yes, I'm gonna sell a company. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. I could tell all my friends, and it's gonna be awesome. And then I was gonna go on a road trip after that because I didn't have any responsibilities, and it was gonna be awesome. And then I did, and the first thing I did was I packed my Challenger, my Dodge Challenger, and I drove to San Francisco. And I had some fun, and it was awesome. And the next day I was in a Starbucks parking lot and I had a mental breakdown because I was just like, what the fuck did I just do? All of my time, all of my effort, 5 years of my life, and I just sold it to somebody for money. And it's over now. And the wave of emotions that hit me when I really realized what I had just done, like stopped to think about it, like, and I didn't have anything else to occupy my mind, was kind of depressing and crazy, because I was just like, that was my baby. And what scares me is that I care way more about this game than I've ever cared about any company that I've ever started. I care way more about this game than anything that I've ever created. I care more about this. I've had emotional breakdowns on stream a couple times, especially when we were working on the ending. It was like a weird, not only is it wrapped up in all these weird dark emotions from the breakup that started the game about the fear of love, right? But it was a weird way of like, this is the ending to this thing that I've like dedicated my life to over years and years and years. I feel kind of emotional now, to be honest. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird being here. There's a little bit of imposter syndrome, to be honest. I don't feel like I deserve to be here. I don't feel like, I don't know. If you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's basically when people feel like they've faked their way into some kind of industry and they feel like everybody's gonna find them out, that they're not a real game developer, or they're not a real athlete. There's a little bit of that, you know, even though I made 22 games, and then this is the biggest project, I'm launching this, and this is the first commercial project and all that, and you add it up on paper and okay, you know, I'm a game developer, but I still feel like a faker. Like, nobody knows how I fucking built the game, right? With hacking it together and the shitty code and the stuff that I hid and the stuff. There are level designs that are designed in certain ways to prevent bugs from happening because I don't know how to fix the bugs. So I changed the level design that would cause the bugs. Little things like that. And I know from talking to people that, like, that's pretty normal. Like, all the game developers do that. All the software developers do that. Like, it's part of human nature. Like, that's just how you build stuff. You have to in order to ship anything. Anybody that's ever actually shipped something can tell you stuff like that has to be done at some point, right? There's no perfect way to do everything perfectly. I remember I was talking to Chris DeLeon one time about this similar issue, and he was telling me how people on forums spent hours and hours and hours criticizing Doom's original code about how he could have done something different and how he could have modified this and made this run faster and all that. And Chris was just like, but he made Doom. He made and he shipped Doom, right? Like, doesn't fucking matter about all that stuff. So I know it doesn't matter, but it still bothers me. So that's my 12-minute rant on how I feel pre-launch. And like I said, I'm gonna share all of the data with y'all. I'm gonna share the sales data and stuff. Going forward, we'll see the Founders Edition stuff. We'll have to see, because with the physical edition, there are hard costs involved. So even though I said my goal was 10K net or 10K gross, which is like total sales, the Founders Edition stuff is gonna have to be net sales, which is like profit. So, because I have to subtract the hard costs from the actual cost of the game and all that. So it's probably gonna be a while before I release the actual numbers for Founders Edition sales because I need to ship all that stuff out. But if you haven't bought the Founders Edition yet, you can. If you don't want to buy the Founders Edition, I need to make this very clear. You can get the game for $11.99 on February 10th at midnight on itch.io. The link is down in the description. You can buy the game there. You can check out the page. If you want to buy the Founders Edition, which is, it comes with a bunch of extra stuff and it ships in a couple weeks, and you get your name in the credits of the actual game, all versions of the game, which I think is cool, or the physical one, which is hand-signed, hand-numbered, which is, I don't know of any indie, especially at my size, that is doing something like that. You can get the Founders Edition down below. The link's down there. Thank you guys for being a part of this journey. And look, I'm going through this right now. So if you want to be here, if this is your goal to get where I'm at right now, ask me questions in the comments and I will answer you, because I want to help as many people as I possibly can get to this point. And that was the goal with this channel all along, is to help developers build themselves as I build myself, right? I wanted to share the knowledge and experience that I had up until this point, but I also wanted to share the journey of going through all this. So if there's anything you want to know, if there's any questions you have for somebody at this point, please let me know. And I will do my best to answer them. Like I said, 2 days, launch in 2 days, 1.5 days, whatever you want to do it. So I'm a little busy at the moment, but I will make sure that I answer some important questions. So my name is Tim Roswick. I will see you all next time.